Hey everyone, and welcome back to the M1 Finance Investing series. I hope you guys are excited for today's episode because I'm super excited for it as well. Now, what we're gonna be doing, of course, as always in this series, is we're gonna look over the portfolio. We're gonna be buying a new stock here today as well. And then, of course, we're gonna deposit an additional $10 into the account so that way we can continue to grow this dividend portfolio. And while we are hopping here onto the M1 Finance portfolio, if by chance this is your first video with us, my name's Dennis, and we love talking about ways to build wealth and be more financially independent. So make sure you are hitting that subscribe button down below. Tap on that bell if you want to join in on the conversations right away. So here we are, of course, on the M1 Finance portfolio. Now, first and foremost, as always, let's look and see what our value is. And currently we are sitting at $212.47. As I'm recording this, unfortunately, the market is not doing super well. We are down $2.23, which is negative 1.04%. So unfortunate that it's going down, but that is just part of the game. If we actually look at our week, we are down 53 cents, of course, down 0.25%. And then if we look at the month, actually, the month we are up still $7.15, which is 3.79%. And then if we go to the quarter, we're still up $6.72, which is 4.11. And then for the year, we're actually up $12.55, which is a 9.22% return. And that's what's so great about long-term investing is that, if you just stay consistent, you're going to have a really good result if you're paying attention and, putting in your investments at all times, regardless of how the market is doing. So with that being said, one thing I forgot to do last week, and I do apologize, was I didn't actually break down how the $10 went into the account to kind of showcase, how that money broke down into the different funds. So we're going to do that here today as well, on top of, buying the new share. And I got something really cool to mention for you guys as well. So I hope you guys stick around here for just a little bit because I'm excited for it. It's kind of a cool thing from the community. So I'll mention that here in just a moment. Now, if we actually slide down here, this is gonna look a little bit different. So if you notice here, I still have, of course, Vanguard that you can kind of see by itself, but I have these new things called consumer, tech, and real estate. Now, these are actually pies within pies for M1 Finance. And in case that's confusing, essentially, I am just grouping up different funds together instead of having them all individually. I did this for a couple different reasons, but don't worry, I know what you're thinking. Like, Dennis, why didn't you take us through this process? Why didn't you show us? I did. I actually recorded this and I'm actually gonna release that video coming up on Friday. So you guys can actually see how to do it because I wanted to break it down entirely in case you're interested in doing it. But I didn't want to do it with the regular, weekly video. So that way it's kind of its own thing for people to find. But I did show you guys, so don't fear on that. And I think it's a cool video. I hope you guys will enjoy that when it comes out as well. So now if we actually go through these, I have, like you saw here, the three different sectors: the consumer, the tech, and the real estate. Inside of these mini pies are gonna be the same stocks that I've already owned. So there's not gonna be anything different. They're all still the same companies. So in consumers, I have Disney, Home Depot, and then Tesla. So those are the three in this group. I have a tech group, which is gonna be the AT&T and Microsoft. AT&T a lot of times is considered either like telecommunications or consumers. I just put it in tech just because it's my pie, I can do what I want. And then if we go into the last one, which is real estate, this is gonna be the NRZ, and that one's gonna be here by itself. Now, in the video that I'm releasing on Friday, I do mention some pros and of course some cons with making your pies within pies like this. So make sure you guys check that out if you have M1 Finance or you wanna do something like this. To make it a lot cleaner, one of the big advantages you can kind of already tell is when you log into each pie individually, you can actually see how that group is doing by themselves. And I love that. Like, I think it's a really cool feature. So that way I can see how each sector is and how it's all working out. But I'm not gonna get too far into that just because, again, that video that's coming out will go into all the extra details for you guys in case you are curious. Now, what we're gonna do is actually go into our activity section here. and you'll see all the different changes. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down how the $10 broke into our overall funds last week. Now, last week I deposited 10 bucks. We did get that 3-cent dividend from Microsoft, if you guys remember. I thought it was hysterical. And then we had a penny left in the account itself already. So from here, what we're gonna look at is what everything broke down into. So $9.71 of that went into Home Depot, because that was our newest company last week. 12 cents went into NRZ, and then 21 cents went into AT&T. I know it's not the most in the world. If you've been following along, my goal is to hopefully bump that up over time as far as how much we're contributing every week. So that way we have bigger impacts on, putting money into these companies so we can get paid out better dividends over the long haul. So that's how we did for last week. Now what we're gonna do is actually look overall on our holdings. Now this is a feature here on M1 Finance. I don't think I brought this up at all so far in the series. So I'll do this only once in a while so I don't overdo it with everything. This will show me all the different funds that we have, of course, as you see here. And I'll actually break it down here so you can see how many shares we have of each company. And then obviously the average price that we paid right there as well. So that way we can get a good idea when we are trying to dollar cost average on some of our shares. Now, if we look at here, of course, you're gonna see that the Vanguard S&P 500, we have a little over half a share. Disney, we have 0.07 of a share. AT&T, we have 0.30, so a third of a share. Home Depot, we have 0.04. NRZ is actually the highest right here at 0.61 shares. And then Microsoft 0.07, and then Tesla we have 0.04. So of course, as more and more money gets into these funds, those will go up, to start owning multiple shares of these companies. But of course, adding more individual stocks will make it a little difficult for these to get funded if we're just doing that $10. But as I mentioned, hopefully we'll bump that up in the very near future. Now, I mentioned earlier that I had something cool to mention to you guys, and this was actually because somebody signed up with my M1 Finance referral link that I always put in the show notes down below, and I actually got $10 for that. And the really cool thing about that, I actually temporarily put the auto invest to $20 just so I can have that shown up here. So you can see I have $10 and actually 3 cents in the account right now. Because when I did the new pies, it bought and sold some stuff, and you guys can check out that stuff in the future video. But the $10 I thought was really cool, so I wanted to share this with you guys. That's gonna be on top of the $10 I'm going to be adding in, so there'll be a total of 20 bucks getting spliced into all of these funds. So I wanted to share this awesome news with you guys, and also thank the person who signed up using my referral link, because of course we get that $10 to be able to invest back into this. So you guys are supporting this channel and literally getting to see the support coming through here on the actual videos themselves. And of course, I'll break down how that $10 got spliced into these other companies. So for the person out there that signed up, you get to actually see how your sign up actually is affecting this dividend portfolio, which I think is cool, and I hope that your M1 Finance journey is going to be off to a great start as well. Now let's go ahead and add our new stock for this week, because of course we want to be adding our new stock. I did some research and I'm really kind of torn between a couple of different companies that I really want to add. As you can see here, I have the 3 different sectors that I'm currently in. Now, as I want to build up more in my portfolio, I do want to diversify more and more. So that way I'm in different sectors. I do plan on having some healthcare companies. I do plan on doing some energy companies. But the one I want to do today is also going to technically be into the real estate portfolio as well. So now adding new shares into this M1 Finance portfolio is going to be a little bit different than we've done in the past. So in previous episodes, we would just hit the edit button right here, click add, and then we would add a new fund into this portfolio. But in doing so, it would just add it to the overall pie and not the selected group I want it to go in. And as I mentioned earlier, the benefit of doing so is going to be so that way I can actually kind of get a good idea of how each section is doing. But the other really cool thing about this, and I mentioned it in Friday's video, is if I wanted to just add an extra $10 or put some more money towards specific kind of groups, I can do that within those pies, so that way that money kind of goes in that area as I see fit. So I really like that, and I'm excited for the future. And I think that's what's so cool about this video series, is that you guys are seeing this change happen kind of in real time, to see how the actual market affects my decisions and how my decisions affect M1 Finance and the portfolio that I have. So I hope this is helping you guys a lot when it comes to, either just having fun watching somebody else invest, or if you are in the process of wanting to start investing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the real estate pie, as you see here. And as I mentioned, we are going to be adding a new real estate company, or a REIT, as a lot of people like to call it. So we're already in the real estate pie, so we're gonna hit the edit button here. And here currently we see NRZ at 100%. So within this pie, which is 5% of my overall portfolio, 100% of it goes to NRZ. So now I'm gonna hit the add button, of course, as you see here. And then I'm going to actually look up the company, because it's not in the, I don't know if it's in the top, I don't think it is. But it's called Realty Income Corporation, ticker number O. So this is a fairly popular one when it comes to REITs for a lot of dividend portfolios. I've been looking at it for a while. I was planning on adding it. And right now its dividend yield is 3.79%. The PE ratio is quite high there. And just the last day itself hasn't been doing well. It's down almost 2% there. I think in the last month, if we look, it's actually still doing really well over the last month. But I'm interested in going into this company for the long haul. So we're gonna go ahead and add this to the basket. So of course, while adding to the basket, this is a good time to remind you guys that these are investments that I'm personally making, and I'm not encouraging anyone to make these same investments. I just want to, showcase what I'm personally doing, and I always recommend you do extra research on different companies that you want to invest in, and not just go based off of what anybody else is showing you in their portfolios. So with that being said, let's go ahead and add this to our pie. Now in this pie, this is a little bit different than before, because I can't just do 5%. Oh, I mean, I can, but if I just do 5%, very, very little bit of money is gonna go into this fund. Now, because of the way this new miniature pie, or pie within a pie, works, I'm gonna make this 50%, and I'm gonna make NRZ 50% as well. And I'm gonna hit save. And now, I'm gonna of course confirm this as well. And now this new pie is going to be 50% NRZ, 50% Realty Income Corporation. Now here's a very important thing to note when you are doing these pies within pies. If I just keep everything as it is, the real estate group is only at 5%, which means if I put that $10 every single week, only 5% is going to go into this group, and then within that group, only half of that is going to go into the real estate. Now, because I've been doing 5% for each new stock in this series, as we're just building up the portfolio, I'm gonna go ahead and hit edit. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and lower my Vanguard S&P 500 and actually raise my real estate by 10%. So now effectively, I'm still gonna get about the same as I was going to originally if I was just having that, Realty Income Corporation group added to the overall pie. So now everybody's gonna pretty much get 5% when it comes to the money being added into the account. And then that way everything is kind of dispersed evenly. So we're gonna go ahead and hit save right over here. So that's gonna confirm. So now 10% of our portfolio is going to go to real estate, which I do plan on bumping that up actually more and more just overall, because I do want more of my funds going into the REITs currently, as I feel like they're gonna help with the dividend portfolio. If anything, actually, let's just go ahead and bump that up even more. So you're gonna see this change happen. I'm not gonna cut out that original part. Let's just go ahead and do a little bit more for real estate. So if I wanted to do, let's say 20% in real estate, or actually 15, let's do 15. Let's kind of go up slowly and surely here. So don't call me Shirley. So let's go ahead and do that. So now our real estate is at 15% instead of the 10%. And our Vanguard's gonna be at 60%. So you just saw that here. I made that decision kind of on the fly, because eventually I do know I want real estate to be a little bit more and more of my portfolio, especially for dividend income. So now as I put more money in, a good chunk of that is gonna start going to real estate. And then when it goes into the real estate, it's gonna be split half between the NRZ and Real Estate Income Corporation. So that way it goes into those. If I add more funds into this real estate, it'll consistently be split between every single one, depending on how much percentage I put for each. So now when we have money coming into the account, we'll have it kind of split up into these different funds. And then this pie will look a little bit more normal, of course, as well as the main pie, because now you'll see the real estate is definitely underfunded because our goal is 15%, but it's currently only at 4.5, which means a lot of the money we deposit is going to kind of get funneled into there to kind of bump up that number, where of course our Vanguard S&P 500 fund is way above its target now. So nothing is going to go into it. It won't change. It won't like sell off unless I purposely hit rebalance, but I don't want to hit that because it does cause a taxable event. So I'll just leave that be because I might still eventually add more money to that in the future. Now, when it comes to adding our 10 bucks today, I do have some options because I already have that $10 from our viewer here that used the link in the description box to sign up, which, speaking of, if you want to sign up, go ahead and check out that link down below. As you saw here, it does support the channel, so I do appreciate you guys using that link to help get you started with M1 Finance. And then the nice thing is it's only $100 to get started with investing in a taxable account. And then after that, you can do as little as $10. All right, so let's go ahead and deposit an additional $10 into this account. And then what we'll do is go ahead and confirm here. So that'll bring up our total to $20.03 because of the $10 that we got from our referral and then another $10 from the deposit. So I temporarily set our auto investment to 20 bucks, mainly so that $10 was there so you guys can see it. But one cool feature about this auto invest to set to certain numbers is in case you actually want to keep money on the account but not actually invest it yet. And you might be thinking, well, why do you want to do that? And that is beneficial for somebody that maybe wants to have a little bit of money on the side to kind of buy companies and stocks at certain times if there's, you know, a downturn in the market or whatever it may be, not necessarily having to use all your money every single time to put directly in the market. So $20 is not a lot, but like if you had, you know, a $200 threshold or a $400 threshold, that'll help keep some money in the account so you can transfer it automatically. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch this back to auto invest all the money. So that way everything will go through. Now it won't invest just the 10 bucks because I believe all the transfers for creating the new pies within pies happened technically today when I'm recording. And one of the downsides with M1 is that you can only essentially do one transaction essentially per day. So this will go into effect tomorrow, which is no big deal for me. Definitely patient with it. Hopefully I can catch some more of these funds being on their downturns. So that way we save a little bit more money and get more shares of these companies. So I will update you guys on that video as it comes out. So let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on me getting this new fund? Are you guys a fan of ticker O, which is that Realty Income Corporation? I know some of you guys out there are big fans of this stock itself. So I want to hear from everybody what you guys think in the comments below. So if you want to see more content here on the channel, check out some of these videos here today. And if you made it this far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us so that way you guys can be up to date on all the newest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video.